Three women in the life of Moses. Hello, dear friends. Today we are going to discuss the topic of the three women in the life of Moses. Moses, the great leader in the Bible who led the Israelites out of Egypt, is a figure we are all familiar with. He is one of the most important figures in the Old Testament, chosen by God to lead his people out of Egyptian bondage and toward the promised land. However, Moses did not walk his journey alone. His growth and leadership were deeply influenced by three women: his adoptive mother, the daughter of Pharaoh, his sister Miriam, and his wife Zipporah. We are often used to viewing Moses as a vessel of God, directly guided by him and accomplishing his mission through divine signs and wonders. Yet, a closer study of his life reveals that the wisdom, courage, faith, and actions of three women played crucial roles at key moments in Moses' life. Some even saved his life. These women not only influenced Moses' development, but also left a significant mark on the history of Israel. Let us now take a closer look at the stories of these three women, the roles they played in Moses' life, and the insights and reflections they experienced leave us with. The daughter of Pharaoh, an unexpected grace. When Moses was born, Pharaoh of Egypt has ordered the killing of all newborn Hebrew boys to curb the population growth of the Israelites. Faced with this cruel reality, Moses' biological mother could not bear to see her son killed. She carefully crafted a papyrus basket, placed Moses in it, and gently set it afloat on the Nile River, hoping that God would preserve his life. This act was not only a great expression of motherly love, but also a tremendous act of faith. Moses' biological mother chose to believe that even though she was powerless, God still had a way to save her son. And indeed, her faith was rewarded. God led Moses to an unexpected savior, Pharaoh's daughter. At the time, the princess was bathing at the Nile River when she saw the basket containing baby Moses. She immediately recognized him as a Hebrew child. According to Pharaoh's command, she should have had him killed, but she did not. Instead, she was moved with compassion and chose to adopt him. What prompted her to act this way? Perhaps it was a motherly instinct that prevented her from harming an innocent baby. Or maybe she disagreed with her father's policy and thought to express her defiance through this action. But more likely, it was all part of God's providence. He softened her heart in order to fulfill Moses' divine calling. After Moses was weaned, the princess brought him into the palace and gave him the best education available. As her adopted son, Moses learned the Egyptian language, culture, military strategy, and administrative skills, all of which laid a solid foundation for him to become a great leader. The Bible does not mention the princess' name or her fate. However, in Jewish tradition and rabbinic literature, such as the Midrash, she is referred to as Bethiah, meaning daughter of God. According to Leviticus Rabbi 1:3, God gave her this name because she adopted Moses as her own, and so he called her my daughter. In Jewish tradition, she is also regarded as a righteous woman who renounced her father's idolatry and converted to the faith of Israel. Midrash Tachi includes her among devout female converts alongside Hagar, Asenath, and Ruth. In 1 Chronicles 4:18, a woman named Bethiah, the daughter of Pharaoh, is said to have married a man of Judah named Mered and bore him several children. Some rabbinic writing interpret this Bethiah as the same princess who adopted Moses, suggesting that she may have joined the Israelites during the Exodus and ultimately became part of their nation. However, some historians and biblical scholars speculate that Pharaoh's daughter might have been Hatshepsut, a famous female pharaoh who ruled Egypt in the 15th century BC, roughly aligning with the Exodus timeline. Still, there is no direct evidence supporting this theory, and Egyptian records do not mention a Hebrew child being adopted by a pharaoh's daughter. Nevertheless, historical Egyptian documents indicate that the practice of adopting foreign children was not uncommon, providing cultural context for an event of this nature. Regardless of her true identity, her actions shaped the life of Moses. Her compassion became part of God's plan of salvation. Miriam, a model of female leadership. Miriam, Moses' sister, was a vital protector and supporter in his life. She not only saved his life in childhood, but later became a significant leader among the Israelites. When baby Moses was placed in the Nile, Miriam stood at a distance to ensure his safety. She witnessed Pharaoh's daughter taking Moses from the water and clearly offered to find a Hebrew woman to nurse him, bringing their mother back into Moses' life. As an adult, Miriam became a leader among Israelite women and actively assisted her brothers Moses and Aaron during the Israelites' journey through the wilderness. After the miraculous parting of the Red Sea, she led the women in dancing and singing praises to God. This scene not only celebrated the victory, but also marked her role as a prophetess. However, her life was not without struggles. In number 12, Miriam, out of jealousy, challenged Moses' authority along with Aaron. As a result, God punished her with leprosy. Only after Moses earnestly pleaded with God was she healed. In the 40th year after Exodus, Miriam died and was buried at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Jewish rabbinic literature and the Talmud say that God provided manna because of Moses, the pillar of cloud because of Aaron, and the miraculous well because of Miriam. This well, Miriam's well, traveled with the Israelites through the wilderness, providing water. After her death, the well disappeared, leading to a water shortage until Moses struck the rock. This legend continues in modern Jewish tradition. For example, during the Passover Seder, some families include a cup of Miriam filled with water to commemorate her contribution. Jewish teachings also recognize her as one of the 7 major female prophets of Israel. The other 6 are Sarah, Deborah, Hannah, Abigail, Huldah, and Esther. Zipporah, a Gentile witness of faith. Zipporah, the daughter of Jethro, the priest of Midian, was not an Israelite, but eventually became Moses' wife. After killing an Egyptian, Moses fled to Midian, where Jethro took him in and later gave him Zipporah in marriage. Together they had 2 sons, Gershom and Eleazar. Moses lived with Zipporah in Midian for 40 years before returning to Egypt. On the way back to Egypt, God appeared to Moses and sought to kill him. In the critical moment, Zipporah quickly took a flint knife and circumcised their son, thereby averting divine wrath. Her swift actions showed a deeper awareness of God's covenant than Moses himself and a willingness to obey immediately. Later, perhaps due to the dangers of Moses' mission, Zipporah and their sons were sent back to Midian. They rejoined Moses at Mount Horeb when Jethro brought them to him. The Bible does not specify whether Zipporah and her sons remained with Moses in the wilderness or returned to Midian. Although the Bible contains limited descriptions of Zipporah, rabbinic literature portrays her in detail. In Pirkei the Rabbi Elazar, it is said that when Moses arrived in Midian, Jethro, knowing he was a fugitive, imprisoned him in a pit, intending to starve him to death. But Zipporah secretly provided him with food and water for 10 years, eventually persuading her father to release him. Afterwards, Moses asked for her hand in marriage. In Exodus Rabbi 132, Zipporah is described as not only beautiful in appearance, but also noble in character. Her beauty was considered a divine gift and remained with her even in old age. Jewish tradition interprets her name Zipporah, meaning little bird, as the symbolic of a swift and loving response to Moses, like a bird flying to greet him. One controversial passage is Numbers 12:1, where Miriam and Aaron criticize Moses for marrying a Cushite woman. Was this Zipporah or another wife? Jewish interpretations vary. One view holds that Cushite refers not to geographic origin but to beauty. Thus, it still refers to Zipporah. Another suggests Moses may have had a second wife, a Cushite woman named Tharbis. The Jewish historian Josephus, in his book Antiquities of the Jews, records that Moses married Tharbis, an Ethiopian princess, before fleeing Egypt, but later used a magic ring to make her forget him. Josephus believed the Cushite woman in Numbers referred to Zipporah, not Tharbis. There are no definitive records of where Zipporah died. She may have passed away during Israel's wilderness journey or in her homeland of Midian. Through her wisdom, love, obedience, and courage, Zipporah became a crucial figure in Moses' life and an important supporter of his mission. We have concluded the stories of these three women in Moses' life: his adoptive mother, his sister, and his wife. Each played a vital role in his journey. The stories remind us of God's holy plans that are far beyond our human understanding, and God can use anyone, including you or me, as He pleases, to accomplish His will. That wraps up our topic for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, giving it a thumbs up, and sharing it with others. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to leave a comment below. Until next time, may God bless you and grant you peace.